Hello, all you beautiful souls out there. In today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the pressure that we tend to put on ourselves and how you can start to detach from it. I know for me personally, for the past 2 days, I've definitely been feeling pressure. I've been feeling overwhelmed, a lot of overthinking, a lot of holding myself to some pretty not impossible, but maybe imagined standards that I've placed on myself. And it's starting to get to me. It's like the pressure is building and it's starting to get to me. I find that I've been having a lot of, like my mind hasn't stopped. It's not necessarily obsessive thoughts, but it's just like super duper amounts of mind chatter, and it's constant. It's like, maybe I should do this, and what about that, and oh, I shouldn't be thinking about this, and oh my god, that, and oh my gosh, like and it's gotten overwhelming to the point that I really needed to take a step back. So I can definitely tell you, in my business, I run my own business, so I'm my own boss. And being that it's close, or at least right now, to the first of the month, well, I guess today's like the third or whatever, I normally send out like a monthly newsletter, and I haven't done that yet. And I was kind of wanting to do something a little bit different. I felt called to be a little bit more in the flow and send out something that was really standing out to me, something I've been working on for a while. And it's taken me a little bit longer than normal to get to it because I'm feeling overwhelmed and I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself. And I find that the more pressure I put on myself, the worse it gets, right? So instead of just saying, oh, it's okay, if it goes out on the first or the second or the third or the fourth, it's okay. I've got it in my head that I need to send it out on the first because that's what I've done for X many months prior to this. And, what if people are waiting for it? And what if, I don't send it and then people lose interest? And, there's so many what ifs and so many things and so many ideas that can just constantly interrupt and crowd your mind and crowd the creative flow. And so I really had to take a step back and notice that I'm putting these standards on myself. There's nobody, saying, Tara, you have to send this email out today or yesterday or whatever. I'm doing it to myself. And especially today, we've become very accustomed to this masculine type of energy where things are a certain way and you're in a rigid routine and you do A, B, and C to get D, B, or whatever, D, E, F results. And it doesn't have to be that way. We can be in a much more feminine energy flow. I feel like that's really where the world is kind of going, where these rigid masculine ideas of what we need to do to get things done or to make money or to whatever, they're really falling away. And so, finding yourself in that flow of energy is much nicer than fighting to be in that rigid flow. I've talked about this before, accepting the present moment as perfection and not pushing against the universe is really key. And so I feel like I may have been doing that the past few days. I feel very much like I've been pushing against the flow of the universe, overwhelming myself with thoughts of what if, and I'm supposed to do that, and I should be doing this, and I hate that word should. So it's really about, first of all, recognizing that what pressures am I putting on myself? What actually needs to get done, and when does it need to get done? And whose standard am I living up to? And I'm not saying throw it all out the window and just, never do anything on time. Obviously, I need to hold myself accountable and do things. I'm, like I said, running my own business. There are things that I need to do. But you can really, allow things to change, allow things to evolve. Even as I was thinking about filming this video, I was putting pressure on myself to be able to give you the right answer, right? The magic pill of how to stop putting pressure on yourself and what you can do to kind of detach from it. And I like, as much as I don't want to say this, I can't tell you. You have to find that out for yourself. I can tell you some of the things that work for me, but ultimately it's about, going within, quieting the mind and asking yourself and figuring that out on your own. I can definitely tell you, feeling this pressure, feeling this way, I really almost had to take a step back and just say, I'm not gonna do it. And once I did that, I was inspired to film this video. And I'm probably gonna write an email to all of you and, tell you about it, because that's what I felt inspired to do. That was the creativity that was coming through me in that moment. Before I did that, I laid down and meditated, because I really just needed to quiet the mind. I did a guided meditation even on just how to, turn your attention inward, feel the sensations in your body, and become present in your body. And that really helped. I felt really good. I was able to feel the energy, call my energy back to myself, and really kind of get centered within myself. And that helped to move my awareness from here into here. And that feels really good. One of the other things that I did was, while I was in this meditation, I pictured a light switch. So using, the power of visualization, I saw this light switch and it was labeled attachment, and it was on. And I was attached to everything. I was attached to my newsletter. I was attached to figuring out my email program. I was attached to, how many people would get it, how many people would read it, the timing, the software, the this, the that. Like, I was attached to all of it. And what I did was I flipped that switch and I turned the attachment off. And I'm going to be honest with you, it went right back on. This is where the power of your mind and visualization and your imagination, this is where this all comes into play. So I consciously turned the switch off and I saw it go right back on. And I tried it a few times and it went right back on. There was nothing I could do to keep the switch off. So instead of picturing a switch from, going from one end of the spectrum to the other, which I always say is not necessarily ever a good idea, very unattainable, for any period of time. So what I started to picture was more of a dial, right? So the dial was at 10, attachment here, red, and the dial's here. And I started to slowly turn the dial down. And the dial started to go slowly from 10, down to 9, 8, 7. And as I saw the dial moving to the left, getting closer and closer to 0, I felt this wave of relaxation come over me. And it was almost like I could see like a darkness, but not a negative darkness, just I can't even say it other than this instant relief. This relief of having this dial go from 10, down, and it moved down and down. And I think I got it down to maybe a 4. And then it kind of went back up a little bit, and I kind of pushed it back down a little bit more. And it went back and forth for a little bit until I kind of ended up at a 4. And that's pretty good compared to what I had been feeling. So, again, it's really about enjoying it, right? I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't enjoying this pressure, these imagined deadlines, these imagined standards that I was putting on myself. It was taking all of the fun out of it. And I really had to take a step back and just, separate myself from it for a minute and be like, what's the big deal? So what if you send out an email on the 1st or the 4th? It's not gonna end the world. It's not gonna dissolve your business. Just enjoy it. Let the creativity flow. Allow yourself to participate with detached involvement, right? So you're taking those steps forward, but you're not letting the outcome or the process or whatever totally overwhelm you. And again, I wish I could give you guys the magic pill to stop trying to live up to these standards. You can certainly check out this video that I made about striving for perfection. that might help a little bit. But again, you've got to go within. You've got to go within. I do encourage the visualization processes because they can be really helpful. And the imagination, again, like there's a reason that, I couldn't flip that switch. It's not just about like, oh, I'm just making it all up. Like I was too attached to it, and I had to, slowly turn that dial down and really kind of calm my body, calm my mind, and really return to the present moment and figure out what's important to me. What do I want to do? Do I need to take a step back and just understand all of that? So I encourage you guys, let me know in the comments, what are you attached to? What are you putting too much pressure on yourself about that doesn't need to be there? Is it an imagined standard that you have? Is it an actual deadline that you need to work through? Whatever it is, sometimes you just need to take a step back, recenter yourself, bring yourself back to your body, bring yourself back into your heart, and have fun with it. And if you feel like there's someone that needs to hear this message, please feel free to like. Please feel free to share. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you guys again.